Saturday Social is powered by FIFA 22 with PlayStation.
Now, in part one, we spoke all things Premier League, so we're going to turn our attention to the World Cup. I'm so excited about the World Cup. So's Nicole. Great to hear that, wasn't it, Dave?
Yeah, no, I'm pumped.
Excited? Yeah. We're all excited. Let's have a reminder of the draw because it took place yesterday. So here is confirmation of the group stages. Group A sees Mane against Virgil van Dijk, doesn't it? And that one amongst others. Group B, England come up against Iran, USA, and the other one will be either Wales, Scotland or Ukraine. Wow. Group C is Messi against Lewandowski. Cannot wait for that. Group D, France, the World Cup holders, and of course Nations League winners. They come up against Peru, Austria or United Arab Emirates, and Denmark and Tunisia. Group E, you've got Spain and Germany in the same group, the number one ranked team in the world. Belgium, they're in Group F. Group G, we've got Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland and Cameroon. And finally, Group H sees Ronaldo against Suarez against Son. No group of death as such, a lot of pundits are saying, but a lot of very interesting fixtures there, and I'm very excited, as we said. So we've asked our guests to give us a list of predictions based on certain criteria as to how they see the World Cup going. So let's have a look at the first criteria. It's the all-important one. Who is going to be lifting that iconic trophy? Nicole, absolutely brilliant from you. Dave, get out. What are you doing?
What?
Nicole, you've gone for
Dave.
England.
You know what?
Brilliant. I love to hear the positivity,
Yes.
but why are England going to bring it home for you?
I think I've got to have that optimism.
Yeah, good.
First and foremost, because I believe in this team. I mean, we're getting closer and closer, right, over the past few years, the
Fourth
past
in the
few
World
tournaments.
Cup, third in the Nations League, second in the Euros.
Getting exactly the next step. Bring it home. It's got to come home. If I sing that one more time and it doesn't come home, if I paint my face one more time, Smithy, and it doesn't work out, I just think this squad, so much talent. Gareth Southgate, I think, is brilliant. I think the way he speaks as well, his leadership, everything about him. The word that gets used a lot with this team is togetherness, right? But it's true. There just is that togetherness. Even all of them riding their blow-up unicorns in the pool together. Like, there's just so many talented players in that squad. And I think there's a belief now that,
I totally
that they
agree
can
with that.
do it.
Because I was working with England for the Euros, speaking to all the players, and I've never seen a group of players so together at international level, and that team spirit, that camaraderie. I think
the same
it's
about Brazil,
so important. But
Brazil
obviously,
aren't bad,
it's a fair point. There are a lot of great teams. Why have you gone Brazil? And Brazil are favourites with a lot of the bookmakers, so it's not a terrible shout at all.
So it's like looking back at previous World Cups when they're in warmer climates or humid climates. There's a bit of a correlation between South American teams winning it. So that's why I went with that. It's kind of like, you think the Mexico World Cups, any of the World Cups in South America, they've gone to a Brazil or Argentina. So that's where I've gone. It's just looking at the weather data. It's boring as anything, Nicole, and I'm not romantic.
This is on Michael Fisher's turn now.
I'm frustrated. The humidity levels, Brazil equals World Cup win.
They have got the greatest record in the history of South American qualification as well. I played 17, won 14, in great form. Odds-on favourite with a lot of the bookmakers, not odds-on, sorry, but favourites with a lot of the
Should we have a look at who you picked as runners-up then? If Brazil are going to win it and England are going to win it, who were the runner-up selections
you don't have
that you
England
went?
as
He doesn't.
Wow.
France versus Brazil. We haven't spoken about France, so let's go straight in with you, Dave. Why France?
I think they're an ugly team that gets things done with quality up top. They've gone to a back five. We've seen how well that worked at the Euros with, the likes of Denmark, exceeding their expectations. Kylian Mbappe is going to have 6 months at Real Madrid. He's going to be flying with Karim Benzema up front. That relationship as a two, for me, really opens up teams. And I think they're slowly bringing in wing-backs. They brought the lad in from Lens, Klaus or whoever his name is. That's better for the system. Previously, it was Benjamin Pavard. Now they're playing wing-backs there. I think it's going to work for them to a certain point. Don't get me wrong, I think this England team has got a lot of quality to it, and I think it'll be a surprise. I'd rather be going there by not thinking they're going to win it and they win it than being they win it and then I'm like, oh, I was right.
OK, you've gone with Brazil.
I've gone with Brazil, for all the weather stats that Dave was saying earlier. I mean, they're just...
Except for the final, because the weather in the final. Is that...
Exactly, that's
It's colder in the final, less humidity.
Right?
Yeah.
And the fact they've got some, elite names. Ederson, Fabinho.
I think it's their
Neymar.
players more so that I'm looking at. And, everyone's saying that they're one of the favourites. Great side. I think they're looking very good, but I've got to go for England to win. Because you just have to. I can't believe you haven't.
I just think with Brazil as well, it's just the quality in attack. Like right midfield, you got Anthony, you got Rafinha, left hand side Vinicius Junior. You've got Neymar in there as well that plays as a 9. I think the thing is, if Neymar is fit for the entirety of the tournament and he cares and he works hard and he does everything, I think they win it.
Unstoppable.
He would have been my
Yeah.
top pick for top scorer.
Okay, well, we can have a look at top scorer because brought us on nice into the next category, which is top scorer. And you've both gone with Harry Kane. I don't think it's a huge shot. Of course, he won the Golden Boot at the last World Cup. 4 goals at the Euros, 1 behind Ronaldo, who got 5. Multiple Premier League Golden Boot winner, one of the best strikers in the world. But there are a lot of great strikers playing there. So why did you both go Kane over the other sort of players in there?
Great for England, isn't he?
Good international football.
Yeah.
Penalties is a big thing in these tournaments because they're so short, so that's an important thing to have in your mindset. But no, it's Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Harry Kane is in great form in 2022, most goals in the Premier League. Like it just seems like this is the year for him.
Confident.
The elite
He's such
player. He's on a great run of
player.
form. I think as well, if the fact that Harry Kane often doesn't have rest in the summer and he goes straight into a huge season, playing all the time for Spurs into the summer, which obviously then fitness is. I think if he's fully fit, going with a summer break, going into a winter tournament, I think he could be unbelievable.
Yeah, let's have a look at your best players then of the tournament, because Dave, you've gone for the player that I think will be top scorer.
You don't, Neymar.
Neymar.
Yeah.
Nicole,
but
you've
there
gone
are
for
so many
Kylian.
players you could
Yeah.
Pick
out,
from,
right? Mbappe. I
Haven't
mean,
mentioned Messi yet, have we? None of us.
Ronaldo.
Yeah. Ooh, who? Joking.
Ronaldo fans are beyond you now.
That's a joke. I know Ronaldo's great.
You meant the Brazilian Ronaldo? He's not playing anymore.
What? Like Dave was saying earlier, Mbappe, I mean, he's a force to be reckoned with. Great player. I think he will shine in this tournament. But there are so many. I mean, Neymar could
I want
be
to speak about
absolutely
Neymar because
incredible.
I was listening to some South American correspondents talking about the fact that Neymar is I mean, he's an unbelievable player. He's won so much at club level. But obviously, Brazil have won the World Cup 5 times. So many elite Brazilian players down the years have won some of the multiple World Cups. The likes of Pelé, we've seen Ronaldinho, Ronaldo. So many of them have shone on the international stage. Neymar is yet to win a World Cup or a Copa America. And a lot of people are saying this is a tournament that will define his Brazilian legacy. Do you think there'll be pressure on him because of those reasons?
Absolutely. But I think with the last World Cup, we played very, very well until the injury, right? He carried them. And I feel like that's the same thing. And when you look at some players, how are they motivated? Is Neymar motivated in Paris for half a season? Probably not. This is going to be the interesting side because we've got a league campaign that's going to, play a little bit of it. There's going to be so many players. I don't want to get injured. I want to be fresh for the tournament. Neymar will check out at the start of the season for PSG. I think he will.
I kind of
Do you think?
agree.
Yeah.
I think he'll check out.
Because it's so important for him, this trophy, this legacy that we're talking about for Brazil.
You think with Neymar, right, if he wins the World Cup, he could retire, which we'd hate to see because he's such a talented footballer, but he's done it all. He's Champions League, club level, league titles, this, that, the World Cup, which is a big thing for him. Why not check out at that point? Leave on a high, and I think that could be the time. But I do think someone like Rafinha or an Antony, that right-hand side.
Well, we've got another young Brazilian in your ones to watch.
Yeah, this is the
we?
final category, actually, ones to watch. Let's have a look at your who you've gone for. And what strikes me with this is a bit of a Brazilian theme for Dave and an English theme for Nicole.
What bias?
Nicole, we'll come to you first. Saka, good season, isn't he? 9 goals, 5 assists for Arsenal, age 20. I thought we had a great tournament for England as well. What I loved about Saka for England, he's always went forward, didn't he? He's so positive.
I love him. I think, obviously, look, there's Arsenal bias as well, but like you said, Smithy, for England, such a bright young talent. I just think he's been brilliant, consistent. I think he's got even more to give, and he's confident. And because he's been playing well, it's going well at Arsenal, there is that real confidence in the squad, but in him and in the youngsters. And I think he will have a great tournament if he stays fit. That's going to be the worry, right, for all the players.
Yeah. Saka's going to have a big impact. We know that. Directly involved in 15 goals this season in the Premier League. Next season, he's going to have that impact again. What I love is that we're getting these young attackers. So we've got like a new generation. We're talking about Vinicius Junior and Saka.
Yeah.
And that is super exciting. I think both players will have a big impact for their teams.
I mean, Vinicius had an unbelievable
season. 17 goals, is it?
Yeah, we're directly
games.
involved in 20 in La Liga. Like, he's really kicked on. Last season, really inconsistent, hot, cold. This season is probably their main man. And when you look at Mbappe, if he's going to join Real Madrid, like, does Mbappe play on the right? Because Vinicius is in such good form and his relationship with Benzema is so good. But another player that I'd like, Vlahovic, I think is another one that could steal the show. Serbia are going to go in as a little bit of a team that we underrate, I think, which probably moves on to our next category. But I think Vlahovic, in terms of his finishing, is so clean. He gets one chance, he scores.